All right, I've been using estrogen cream on my face for over a year now. I did a video after having used it for 90 days, and a lot has changed. I'm going to share with you my no BS, no hype experience. I'm going to tell you if I think it's something that you might want to consider, and frankly, who does not need to be using this. In addition to that, I'm going to talk to you about the safety, the efficacy, where you can get it, the risks that are involved, what's the best form to use on your face, who maybe is not a candidate, is it safe for everyone? But in addition to that, I am also going to share with you the basically 5 other things, like I haven't done any lasers for my face or anything like that, no surgeries, but I have done a few other very super affordable things that I think have improved the texture of my skin, the appearance of my skin a lot. And I'm going to share all of that with you here today. But let's first start with the estrogen cream. I did a video after having used it for 90 days, and that was about a year ago. I decided to try estrogen cream on my face, which I know for some of you may sound crazy. I know it did to me. I'm like, wait a second, isn't that something you use normally down there? And the answer is yes, but more often than not, that's estradiol. Now, estradiol, many people have used that on their face as well. The reason why I wanted to experiment with this is because, frankly, I heard quite a few very reputable hormone doctors talking about it.
Prescription vaginal estradiol, when applied as directed, shows no signs of systemic absorption.
Applying estrogen cream to the skin can help increase elasticity, firmness, and even potentially the thickness of the skin.
Why should you not be using this on your face? You use it in your vagina and it seems to work there. So why would you not use it on areas of your face? It made a lot of sense to me. And 25 years ago, I started using it on myself.
We know that as a woman's estrogen begins to decline, which happens around our 40s, as soon as we hit perimenopause. By the way, please tell me if this is true for you. There were 2 points in my life where I feel like I just woke up and I'm like, everyone's talking about overnight oats. Well, let's talk about overnight aging. There were 2 points in my life where I like woke up and I looked in the mirror. I'm like, what happened? Like Freaky Friday. Like, did I age overnight? And one of them was probably like 5 years before I went through menopause. So like maybe, I don't know, 46, 47, something like that. And then the second time I like really woke up and noticed it was about a year ago. And it freaked me out. I was like, what did I do? What have I done differently? Have I just not been like have I not had a 10x mirror? Like, why do I look suddenly so much older? Like I aged overnight. And as a woman, it can really put you in a bad mood. By the way, I forgot to put on lipstick. Let's put the lip gloss on and I'll keep talking. It can really bum you out, and especially if you're shallow, which I am. Welcome to my planet. So those of you who are like, oh, just age naturally. Don't worry about your looks. Okay, you can. That ain't me. It puts me in a better mood when I think I look nice, when I wake up and I don't feel old and haggard. And I love aging. I love the idea. I love how I feel. I love all of the things, but I also love maintaining myself. So if that's you, thank you for being here. Please, before we go further, if you're watching here on YouTube, drop a comment below and let me know. Was there a point like, did it happen for you like 5 years before? Like, did it happen for you in perimenopause or in menopause where you're like, wait a second, what happened last night? Why do I look older? I need to know if that happened and when it happened. Hey, I don't want to say anything, but. So it's at that point I watched this video with Dr. Kelly Casperson and a guest that she had on her show, another hormone doctor who literally had started experimenting with estrogen cream on her face like 20 years prior because she knew like estrogen is what our body produces that creates collagen in the skin. It creates our skin's elasticity. It's what holds moisture in naturally.
The first area that all women complain about on their face is the area under their eyes. And that's the thinnest part of our face. So why would you not compare that to a vagina? It seemed natural to me. Your vagina thins, the skin, inside your vagina thins. So does it under your eyes. So start by using limited areas. And many women already had topical estrogen for their vaginas. So just take your finger, you put it other places, just put it underneath your eyes. And it really seemed to work.
So when we lose estrogen, guess what else we lose? Yes, thank you. We lose collagen, we lose elasticity, we lose suppleness. And that's when our fine lines begin to appear. That's where, like, the dark circles, just everything. You get so much more detail on your face. Like, you do not, and by the way, if you're watching me right now on your giant screen TV, please take the 4K off. Like, I wouldn't do that to you. Don't do that to me. We're friends here. But there's something about the decline of estrogen that I'm telling you, it affects your skin, it affects your face, it affects your hair, it affects everything. So I'm watching this video of these doctors and I see so many of them these doctors talking about putting estrogen cream on their face. So I literally reach out to one of my friends who's a hormone doctor and I'm like, can you get me this stuff? And she's like, it's pretty simple, but you do have to, at the time, have it prescribed by your doctor and you have to have a doctor's visit. So I went through my telehealth company, but you guys, I've got really good news for you. You no longer, in most states, as far as I understand, it still needs to be prescribed, but you don't necessarily have to do a visit. So, and I'm going to give you, I'll put a QR code up on the screen. Like, if you don't have a telehealth company where you can get your own compounded estrogen cream for your face, I'm going to explain whether or not you are a candidate or not. But like, if you're wondering, like, okay, where do I get it? I'll put a QR code up on the screen where you can get it through MIDI Health. And what you do, if you've never used a QR code while you're watching YouTube, just take a screenshot if you're watching on your phone, and then it'll save to your camera roll. And then you can open up that photo and just tap on the little QR code. Or if you're watching me on the big screen TV, which I hope you put a little bit of like Vaseline on the lens, all you have to do is point your phone at that QR code. All right, I digress. So at the time, anyways, I had to have a telehealth appointment, which was fine. I asked for the estrogen cream for my face, and I found that the estradiol, which is normal, you can also put it down there, okay? But when I used it on my face, I was like, this isn't like really, I don't know. It wasn't like a typical face cream. It wasn't like smooth and creamy and like absorbed into my skin. It was fine. But I didn't use it as often because I was like, it's just, I don't know. It felt kind of pasty. But I did use it on my neck. I used it a little bit on my hands. I used it under my eyes. But again, it was just like, okay, I had to wait. Like, it felt like I had to wait a long time for it to absorb into the skin. Then from working with my clinician at MIDI, she was like, why don't you use a compounded version where we can compound, meaning like a compounding pharmacy will mix estriol, which is less systemically absorbed into the skin. So it's a lower dosage. We are seeing amazing results. And she shared with me some of the studies, and we can compound that with hyaluronic acid as well as DMAE. And that's going to absorb really nicely into your skin. It gives you this, plumpness. I'm like, sign me up. All right. So anyways, that's what I switched to, and I've been using it for a year. What do I think? Well, first of all, let me tell you that if you're the kind of person you're like, I need to see the studies myself, I'm going to link them below. And you will see that they're quite remarkable. But I will say there's not been a ton of them. So even though there has been in some of these studies, they have noted there is a slight absorption. It's insignificant in terms of levels, even for women who have a past breast cancer or current breast cancer diagnosis. Having said that, one of my very best friends is a breast cancer advocate. And we were talking about it. She's like, Chalene, I've looked at the studies and it's really promising. I think it's important for me to use it for vaginal health. But for any woman, and again, this is not me or her telling you what to do. I'm just telling you we had this conversation. And I was like, I'm going to share this. She was like, if I was worried about estrogen levels systemically and I had to prioritize one or the other, I'm going to just put regular creams on my face because the difference isn't that huge. But for vaginal health, I do think it's really important that, again, I look at the studies, and you should look at the studies too, and I'm going to share them with you so that you can see that it's believed to be very safe, even for someone with a breast cancer former diagnosis. And of course, we're talking topical use. Having said that, it's your choice, right? I mean, it's your decision. And I personally believe if something's going to worry you and freak you out, don't freaking do it, right? Like, there's so much to be said about the placebo effect. What you believe to be true, what you believe to be dangerous becomes dangerous, right? So I love this stuff. I think it's made a tremendous difference in my skin. I have since switched to basically a 3-step skincare routine. And I was doing, if you've seen some of my older videos, I was doing like all of the, lotions and the serums and the potions. And I still think they're great, but like, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like my skin is better and I'm only doing a 3-step process. So if I can save time, I'm all about it. Okay. So aside from the estrogen cream, some additional questions I wanted to answer for you. I'm going to get to those. But before I do, I'm going to answer the more. I know you've got more questions about estrogen cream, but before I do, I want to share with you the other things that I've done in full transparency. So first of all, Botox, is your girl a Botox user? Hitler, what do you think? Obviously. And if you're going to tell me in the comments like, "Oh my god, Botox is a poison." I know. I'm telling you, I use it. Okay. So, but I used it before I started using any of these things too. So, I'm a lifer. I've been using Botox since 4th grade. Okay? In addition to that though, in the last year, I've done red light therapy on the regular. So, I do red light therapy 3 times a week and I'm doing it in a bed. There's also home devices to use. Red light therapy has been shown to be tremendously beneficial to the skin. In one study, participants who used a red light face mask after 1 month reported a 15% decrease in the depth of their crow's feet, a 26% increase in their skin's density, meaning your skin becomes a little bit thicker, fuller, and plumper. But I do think it's important to note that most dermatologists say the version of red light that you're using really matters. I've done a whole episode on that. It will be linked below in the show description. You'll see where you'll see the title of the show and then it like truncates the whole description. And then you just click on where it says more. And that's where you'll see the link. So you'll see the link to the episode that I did on red light therapy. And it is important to note that it's going to take about 4 to 6 weeks before you start to see any improvements in red light therapy. But I'm a big believer in red light therapy. I've had lots of experts on the show. Like, it's legit. In addition, I use a retinol cream. I just take a pea size, literally a pea size amount, the smallest amount, right? Like literally a pea size. I'm not very good at this stuff. I need to take like an influencer course. And you just put a little bit of that on your face. I put it on at night. Lots of great research. The Retin A gel, this strength, you do need to have that prescribed. Again, you can do that through telehealth. This is a form of vitamin A. There have been countless studies from Harvard, from a variety of very reputable institutions looking at the improvements in collagen production from using Retin A. And I'll tell you what, like that stuff is amazing. But go slow, like use just a little bit at first because you can get a little bit of sloughing. Because, of course, I try to do things to extreme. Of course, I do things over the top. And I'm like, if a pea size is good, I should use a grape size. And when I did that, like my face really felt like it just sloughed off. And of course, with both the estrogen cream, with the red light therapy, and with the Retin A, you want to make sure that you're using a sunscreen. You must use a sunscreen. I use a sunscreen. I was influenced. So I will tell you that I'll see if I can get a discount. If there's a discount code, we'll put it up on the screen if we can get that before we publish this episode. But I was influenced by so many people, so many other influencers talking about OneSkin, not just influencers. I had a girlfriend come and stay with me and she's like, I know you love castor oil. Have you tried OneSkin? So anyways, it's like a tinted SPF. Love it. Love it. But this isn't not something that I've used to like improve my skin. It's something I use to protect my skin. In addition to the collagen, the red light, the Retin A, other thing that I have been doing, and I've been doing this ongoing, and that is just my HRT. Recently, this is just a few months ago, I have ADHD. I forgot to renew my prescription for all of my supplements, including my estrogen. So I ran out of estrogen. I was out of it for like more than a week. I think it was like over a holiday weekend or something. And I just remember I looked in the mirror one of the days and I was like, man, I am having an ugly day. Are you with me? Like one of those days where you're like, I don't feel like going anywhere. I'm in a bad mood. Who can I take this out on? Like there's not enough makeup or good lighting in the world. It was like one of those days where you're like, how do I get a surgery scheduled this afternoon? It was like one of those days. And then I realized I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's because I'm not myself. My hormone levels had all dropped significantly, and estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, all of those things work together to create synergy, to make sure that your body is producing the moisture, holding in the moisture, your body's producing the collagen. Estrogen allows us to produce collagen.
Can HRT improve the skin? Well, the studies are actually pretty positive. In regards to oral hormone replacement therapy, studies show an increase of anywhere from 6% to 33% of the thickness of skin and the content of collagen in the skin after about 6 months of therapy.
So that made it just inspired me more than ever to make sure that I stay on top of my hormones. And if you are a candidate, I think that's really important. I think it's important for you to look at the research. I think it's important for you to know that every single one of us is different. Not everyone is a candidate, but please know that you want that answer and to have that conversation with a clinician who knows what the heck they're talking about. Who actually treats women for their hormones and actually cares about the latest research. I will say that the Menopause Society also they came out and talked about the use of estrogen topically and that it's perfectly safe for women not to raise their estrogen levels. Okay, so you might be wondering, but wait a second. You take estrogen for your hormones, then why do you need to do anything topical? Okay, great question. That was my question too. I'm like, if I'm already doing an estrogen HRT and I do a lozenge, I know a lot of people do a patch, some people do a cream. So why would an estrogen cream that people are like putting on their inner thighs or on their wrists, why couldn't you just put that on your face? They're different. So it's all about dosage. It's about the way that they're being compounded. It's the form of estrogen. So please know this is something you definitely want to work with a clinician who knows what they're talking about. But I do think that it really does improve my skin. We interrupt this episode about your face to talk about you aging well. And as you know, it's something that's really important to me. It's not just about weight. It's not just about hormones. It's not just about looking cute. It's about your whole system, right? And there are no shortcuts. You can't just slap some stuff on your face or inject something into your belly and think that it's going to help you to age well. You need to know what's going on inside. Girlfriend, I need you to understand, look, where's your body fat at right now? What's your bone density look like? What are your hormone levels like? And unfortunately, most doctors don't do that type of a workup. I'm sure you probably already figured that out, right? And it's kind of hard to find a doctor who actually knows what that means and has the time to meet with you and talk to you about these things and to review your panels and to talk about your goals and to talk about what it is you want to feel and look like as you're aging. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so proud to partner with MIDI Health. MIDI Health does age well appointments. That means whether you're living in Virginia or Michigan or Florida or wherever you're living, they have clinicians in all 50 states. They only work with women. Their expertise is in hormone care and helping you to age well. So maybe you do want to talk to them about the possibility of doing a GLP-1. This is a type of company that actually is going to do a workup and let you know if you are an ideal candidate or not, where you can do an age well appointment and actually find out like what is your starting bone density? What is your starting body fat percentage or muscle so that you know how to maintain that. And just so many things that we think are going to happen with a quick fix and we don't really know where we're at in terms of like a baseline and what things we actually need to improve as markers. And that's why I think it's really important for you to consider doing an age well appointment. I'd love for you to do one with MIDI Health. If you don't already have a provider that offers this for you, you can go to chalene.com/MIDI. Or if you're watching on YouTube, you can just take a screenshot of the QR code, which we'll put right here in the palm of my hand. Just take a screenshot. Then you're going to open up your camera roll, click on that little QR code, and you'll go right to MIDI Health. I love them. I think they're a fantastic company, and I would love to hear about your experience with your clinician. Next is collagen. So there's tremendous benefit to using collagen. And I know that there are some people who think it's irrelevant, it's unnecessary. I personally have looked at enough of the studies. I know myself that when I'm taking a collagen supplement, my hair grows so much faster. My skin feels so much better. It improves, for me personally, the appearance of cellulite. Now, every woman has cellulite. God bless you if you don't. I mean, we don't want to hear about it. We don't even have to if you don't have cellulite, we don't even have to like you, but we will. But almost all of us have cellulite. My cellulite used to be much more pronounced. Now I'm doing like all of the things I thought like, oh, I don't know. I want a quick fix. Well, there isn't a quick fix for cellulite. There really isn't. I mean, I guess there's some surgical procedures. If that's something you want me to look into, I'm happy to do it. Like, your girl is happy to do the research for you. But in terms of doing something all natural, I think collagen is one of the easiest ways to do that. There are lots of collagen products on the market. I do think it makes a big difference if you're using a company that's making a reputable product. And so don't buy the cheap stuff. Don't buy anything on Amazon. Have you guys seen some of these reports about the fakes and dupes on Amazon? It is insane. Like, you'll think that you're actually buying from the company and you're not. So listen, your girl loves Amazon. I love the convenience of it. And I'm going to say this every time I talk about a supplement, don't buy them on Amazon. Even if the companies tell you to, like, I wouldn't. It's just, there's too many shady people out there selling dupes of stuff. So anyways, I use collagen from Organifi. In fact, I know you get a discount when you use my link. So I'll put that link up on the screen for you. And I will also put a QR code because that's super easy. Now you know how to use them. Okay. So collagen has made a big difference in not just my cellulite, but like the appearance of my skin. And there's lots of research. Again, it'll be in our show description to support that. And lastly, I'm going to talk about the one thing that I've done that I think has probably made the biggest difference in my skin, but I don't think you're going to want to do it. I think that most of you who see this are going to be like, yeah, I'll do the other 4 or 5, but I'm not going to do that 6th one. And that is, I stopped drinking. And in fact, it was my face that inspired me to for a shallow reason, I decided to take a break from drinking. I didn't have a drinking problem per se, other than the fact that I was like a social drinker and we had suddenly become like way more social in our lives. You know what I'm saying? And I just noticed like my face was looking puffy. And I'm just gonna be completely honest. We were at a dinner and there was a woman across the table from me who was like maybe 5 years older, really pretty. But I also knew she was a pretty heavy drinker. And I feel even dumb saying that because like I was drinking when I had this epiphany. We were going through Europe, and I was having champagne at every single meal. Not every meal. Wait a second, that sounded really bad. I wasn't having it at breakfast, lunch, at every single dinner. I was having champagne. Like I wasn't. Listen, I wasn't having champagne for breakfast. Doesn't sound like a bad idea. Just joking. But I literally had gone like probably 30 days and had champagne every day for 30 days. We were traveling through France, right? But I'm sitting across the table from this woman and I'm noticing, I'm like, there's something about her skin that just doesn't look healthy. Like there's something, please don't take this the wrong way. Cause this is coming from a woman who drank for, 40 years, 40 plus years. There's something about her skin. I'm like, I can just tell she's a drinker. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't ever want someone to look at me and go, oh, wow, she would look so much younger or she would look so much healthier if she wasn't drinking. And again, I don't think this lady, I'm positive she's not alcoholic, but I'm like, I'm headed for that. I need to change. Like, I want to change this for my skin, for my face. And then I started looking at like the research on alcohol. And like, once I saw that, I was like, oh, I can't unsee it, So, having said that, I've done some episodes about alcohol. If it's something like even just drinking less is going to be better for you. Could we do that? Could we just drink less for your skin? I mean, just for vanity's sake, you might even drop a few pounds and live a little longer and hopefully maybe even avoid cancer. Like just consider drinking less. And if that's something you're like, yeah, I don't know, that sounds hard. I've done a video on it and I think it would really be helpful for you. By the way, in case you missed it earlier, I try to be like real subliminal, but if you haven't, can you do me a favor and make sure you like this video or thumbs up and leave a comment? All I want to know is, have you considered using estrogen cream on your face? Just tell me yes or no. And if it's a no, I'd love to know why you haven't. Lastly, I want to address some of the most frequently asked questions from the last estrogen video that I did. So Kim C asked, again, she's using estrogen gel on her thighs every day, she says. So can I use that on my face? Is it the same thing? And the answer is they are not the same thing. So that cream or that gel that many of you are using to elevate your estrogen levels has been formulated to do just that, to elevate your estrogen levels. So the estrogen cream that's specifically formulated for your face is a lower dosage. And of course, you're putting it in a different place and in a smaller amount. So again, that's why you always want to work with a clinician. Such a good question from Melinda Fletcher. Can estrogen cream increase melasma, or could it increase brown spots or aging spots? And the answer to that is it depends. But it has been noted, especially anecdotally. I mean, I've heard from a few women under my last video that said when they used it, they saw an increase in melasma. So my recommendation would be like, you could try it, like maybe on a small patch to see if in fact it has that reaction for you. Most people do not have any type of sensitivity to it, but everyone's different, right? I will say, I wish I'd taken before and after photos of my hands because I feel like it's made the biggest difference on my hands. I don't want to show you my hands because I still think I have Crypt Keeper hands, whatever, but they're better. I love this handle. The Ghetto Cooking Show asks, couldn't you just get the same results by putting collagen into your diet? So I think you're asking about doing a collagen supplement, and by obviously what I've just shared with you, collagen definitely can improve the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. We've got lots of studies to support that. However, it's not the same. Estrogen actually holds moisture in our skin and boosts our natural collagen production. Barbara says, I have the estradiol vaginal cream USP 0.01%. That is appropriate to use on your face. She asked, and this is perfect, when I put it under my eyes or even a little bit around my mouth, it feels pasty. I don't like the way it feels. It takes forever to absorb in. Should I be mixing it with another lotion? So yes, again, I'm not your doctor. I am just your bestie. You can mix it with another cream. You can mix it with hyaluronic acid. However, for me, that's why I like it's super cheap. I just went to, I mean, compared to like what most skincare is, getting a compounded estriol, which is a lower, less systemically ingested or systemically absorbed estrogen, it just makes it so much more convenient. And then it goes on easier. But yeah, nonetheless, you can use the estradiol vaginal cream USP 0.01%. We'll put a little picture of it up here on the screen, very commonly used on the face. It takes longer to absorb. Jen P asks, can you use it with your Retin-A gel? And the answer is, if you don't have very sensitive skin, you can. I do have very sensitive skin, and I still use both. So I think that's up to you. So the order that I do this in, first of all, I will put my estrogen cream on after I've washed my face for bed at night. And then, I let it like absorb like 10 or 15 minutes. And then I put the Retin-A on, and sometimes I'll add a little bit of moisturizer on top of that. Like if I can remember to, I started using the One Skin because that was recommended to me. I was influenced. But yeah, I've had no problem with my skin. But again, everyone's different. Doris Jimison says, Chalene, can you please tell us if you've had any chemical peels, or is your current facial skin, which is so beautiful, thank you so much, is it the result of your estrogen cream and or Retin-A? So when I did my last video, I don't know if I was using Retin-A then. I don't think I was. But no, I haven't done any lasers. I'm not opposed to them. I just haven't done any. The reason why I haven't done any lasers is I haven't looked into it. I haven't researched it. And every time I see someone, they look like a burn victim, I'm like, I can't do that. I just can't. I got a YouTube video to make. Charlene asked, can you use the estrogen cream morning and night? And the answer is, for most people, yes. Now, I am not worried about my estrogen levels. I have them monitored by my clinician. So I use it in the morning, I use it in the evening, and I've had no problem. But again, that's why you want to work with a clinician, because it is a hormone, right? And even though we're not seeing anything of significance in terms of it absorbing into the skin, if that's something you're concerned about, like for example, if you have a estrogen positive breast cancer diagnosis, then that's something you want to talk to with your doctor. Or maybe if it's something you're worried about, just avoid it entirely. And Barbie Ashlene, do you use a sunscreen? Yes, as I mentioned, I use a tinted sunscreen every day. Before I was using this one, I was using another one. And I think it's really important. Every woman I know who's got like gorgeous skin, unless she was just like born with it. Some women are just like olive, beautiful, that melanin skin. Oh, you're so lucky. But for those of us who are like Irish and Scottish and have this pasty white, translucent, lots of freckles, like vein, everything shows through the skin. Like I have to be so careful. I mean, I can look out the window and get sunburned. So I am always wearing sunscreen. You can ask my husband. I'm a freak about it. I think it's really important, and especially if you are fair-skinned. If you want to know more about red light therapy or collagen, you can watch one of these videos next. I will link to them below in our show description as well. In the meantime, I love you. I mean it. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.